The morning sun spilled through the curtains, spreading a golden glow. Across the mansion, the air carried a strange sweetness, as if the universe itself was celebrating a quiet joy. 𝐻𝐤 sat at the dining table, her hand lazily supporting her face as her gaze lingered across the table. Her husband, her cold, untouchable husband, sat opposite her. 𝐸𝐿. The world feared him. A ruthless CEO in daylight. A mafia king in the shadows. His very name could freeze a man's blood and send his enemies trembling into silence. Yet here he sat, casually dressed in nothing but soft sweatpants, his upper body bare, his perfect six-pack abs flexing unconsciously. As he scrolled through his phone, 𝐻𝐤's eyes remained fixed on him, completely lost in the sight. She didn't even realize how obvious she was being until 𝐸𝐿𝐞 cleared his throat, but she didn't stop staring. Finally, 𝐸𝐿𝐞 smirked, leaning back in his chair. What's this? Did my wife's eyes finally get stuck on me? I mean, I know I'm handsome, but it's not just you the whole world drools over the greatest 𝐸𝐿𝐞. His teasing broke her trance. 𝐻𝐤 shot him a glare, stood up, and walked over to him. Instead of replying, she wrapped her arms around his back in a sudden back hug and whispered against his shoulder. Yes, you're handsome, but you're mine. Only mine, and I'll never let you belong to anyone else. 𝐸𝐿𝐞 tilted his head slightly, his lips curling into a devilish smile. Double quotes. But what if one day I fall for someone else? What if I decide to go to her instead of you? The words struck her like a blade. Instantly, her eyes filled with tears. 𝐸𝐿𝐞 froze. He knew. This was why he rarely joked with her during her pregnancy. Her mood swings were delicate, and one wrong word could break her down. Sometimes, even when he innocently called her cute, she burst into tears, insisting, "You're making fun of me because I'm fat now." Every time he had to spend hours comforting her. He had learned to tread carefully, because the last thing he wanted was to hurt her in this fragile time. Now, seeing her eyes welling up, 𝐸𝐿𝐞's smirk faded. He instantly cursed himself. "Baby, I'm sorry. That was stupid." It slipped out. "Don't cry. Okay?" She pouted, wiping her cheek. He pulled her closer, rubbing her back. "Let's forget this. Come on, let's have breakfast. I'm starving, and guess what? I made your favorite pancakes." It took him nearly 20 minutes to coax her into eating. Between his soft scolding and playful feeding, he finally managed to get her to finish the breakfast. Just as he was about to sit back, his phone buzzed. It was his mom. He answered and immediately put the call on speaker. Mrs. Chun. "𝐸𝐿𝐞? How's 𝐻𝐤? Is she okay?" Before 𝐸𝐿𝐞 could reply, 𝐻𝐤 spoke up, her voice cheerful. "Yes, Mom, I'm fine." Mrs. Chun's voice softened. "Daughter, does my son take good care of you?" 𝐻𝐤 puffed her cheeks and complained in a half-crying voice. "No, Mom. He always teases me. Sometimes he calls me a cute panda. Sometimes he says I look better like this. He's always making fun of me." Mrs. Chun laughed softly. "Bring him to me. I'll twist his ears." 𝐸𝐿𝐞 rolled his eyes. "Mom, seriously? I'm not teasing her. I just say those things out of love. She's the one who wakes me up in the middle of the night, demanding this food or that snack. What about that?" Mrs. Chun's voice grew firm, but still gentle. 𝐸𝐿𝐞, that's your duty. She's carrying your baby. Whatever her condition is, it's because of you. You wanted to be a father so badly. Now take responsibility properly. Take care of every little thing about her. Because right now she needs you the most. Her words hit 𝐸𝐿𝐞 deep. 𝐻𝐤 smiled faintly, proud of her mother dash in dash law ... Then Mrs. Chen added, "Oh, and tonight we have a family function. You both must come." Jungkook frowned. "Mum, 𝐲𝐿's condition isn't suitable for parties. Maybe we won't come." But before he could finish, 𝐲𝐿 quickly interrupted. "No, Mum, we'll come. He's practically keeping me in a cage. He won't let me do anything. Won't let me walk. Always carrying me from here to there. I feel like a prisoner." Mrs. Chen burst into laughter. "I thought my son was an idiot, but he's doing this part perfectly. Good job, 𝐸𝐭𝐡. I'm not an idiot," Jungkook protested. "I know, Cookie. You're smart enough. Just bring her tonight. Even for a little while. It will make her feel fresh." Jungkook glanced at 𝐲𝐿, who was looking up at him with wide puppy eyes. He sighed heavily and finally muttered, "Okay, fine." 𝐲𝐿 clapped her hands happily and jumped up in excitement. In evening, 𝐲𝐿 stood in front of the mirror, her hand resting on her fully blossomed 9-month belly. She wore the most elegant dress, modest, graceful, yet it showed her pregnancy glow perfectly. From behind, warm hands slid around her waist. Jungkook kissed her neck gently, his voice a whisper against her skin. "Baby, you have no idea how breathtaking you look right now. And this baby bump." He caressed her stomach softly. "It makes me proud, of what we created together. Proud of every hardship, every moment we shared." 𝐲𝐿 blushed, her cheeks turning red. She lightly smacked his chest. "Shut up, Cookie." Pregnancy had made her body softer, fuller, her curves more prominent. To her, she felt heavy. To him, she was irresistible. "Jungkook, help me with this necklace." She handed him the delicate piece. He brushed her hair to one side, his fingers grazing her skin as he clasped it around her neck. His lips lingered near her ear. "Baby, you don't know how hard it is to control myself. Every time I see you like this, I barely manage to stop myself." Her face burned red, her breath unsteady. "Jungkook, I'm pregnant. It's the 9th month." He turned her gently, pressing a kiss to her flushed cheek. "I know, baby. That's why I'm holding back. Once our little one comes safely into this world, I'll love you with every ounce of passion I've been holding in." He kissed her forehead tenderly, then guided her out. Together, hand in hand, they left Chun Mansion for the family gathering. One heart, 2 souls, and soon, a new life. The grand hall glittered under golden chandeliers, filled with whispers, laughter, and the clinking of glasses. But the moment Jungkook and 𝐲𝐿 entered, the atmosphere shifted. Jungkook's hand rested firmly on 𝐲𝐿's waist, protective, possessive, while her fingers held tightly onto his. She walked carefully in her heels, despite his countless warnings not to wear them in her condition. But she had been stubborn, and in the end, he allowed 𝐸𝐿 after making her promise, in a strict voice, to stay by his side and tell him immediately if she felt even the slightest discomfort. All eyes turned toward them. Some gazers were filled with awe at the pregnancy glow radiating from 𝐲𝐿's face. Others carried envy, bitterness, or even dark intent. But Jungkook, his cold and icy face unshaken, stood like a wall shielding his wife from every eye. Mrs. Chen approached them warmly, pulling 𝐲𝐿 into a gentle hug. Her hand automatically moved to 𝐲𝐿's swollen belly. "Quotes, how are you, my daughter? And how's little Chun doing? I hope he's behaving inside there." Right then, a strong kick from the baby made 𝐲𝐿 wince in sweet pain. Before she could say a word, Jungkook bent slightly and spoke in a dangerously cold voice. "Hey, little one. Don't you dare give my queen any pain. When you come into this world, then I'll teach you a lesson." Mrs. Chun's eyes darkened instantly, and she shot her son a glare sharp, enough to pierce steel. "𝐻𝐿, if you ever cause my grandson any harm, you won't live to see your wife and child again." 𝐻𝐿 swallowed, his Adam's apple moving. His voice cracked just a little. "Mom, please, if you want, you can take my son. But don't take my wife. I can't breathe without her." Mr. Chun slapped 𝐻𝐿's shoulder lightly. "Shut up, you shameless boy. Talking like that in front of your mother." 𝐻𝐿 snapped back, his arrogance unshaken. Double quotes, and why not, Dad? "Mom, weren't you the same when you were carrying me? Grandmother told me you couldn't survive without each other. Don't act like Dad wasn't obsessed with you too." At that, Mrs. Chun flushed red with embarrassment, and 𝐦𝐁 gave 𝐻𝐿 a death glare. Just then, Mr. Chun himself arrived, slipping his arm around his wife's waist. "What's happening here? Why is everyone blushing?" 𝐻𝐿 smirked. "I was just reminding Mum how much you loved her, that you couldn't live without her, even for a moment." Double quotes. Mr. Chun chuckled proudly. "That's true. I never left her side. But you, 𝐻𝐿, you clung to her all the time, ruining our romance." Mrs. Chun narrowed her eyes at him, embarrassed, but he winked. "Honey, let me tell him. One day, your son will also bother you, the way you bothered us. That's how cycles work." 𝐻𝐿 smirked back. "We'll see, Dad. I am the Mafia King Chun 𝐻𝐿. I don't give up my rights so easily." Mr. Chun leaned in with his own smirk. "Okay, let's see." Double quotes. Mrs. Chun broke the moment, gently pulling 𝐦𝐁 away. Come, daughter. Come, daughter. Let me introduce you to my friends. Double quotes. 𝐦𝐁 walked off with her, while 𝐻𝐿 and his father moved toward a group of business partners. Later in the evening, 𝐦𝐁's smile was strained now, her feet aching in the heels, her ankles swollen. 𝐻𝐿, from across the hall, noticed instantly. He excused himself and strode toward her, his cold face unreadable. "We're leaving," he told his mother flatly. Then, turning to 𝐦𝐁, his voice softened. "What happened, baby?" 𝐦𝐁 whispered. "My feet hurt. They're swelling." 𝐻𝐿 immediately guided her to a nearby chair, then to everyone's shock, knelt in front of her. "𝐻𝐿, what are you doing? Get up. Please. Everyone's watching. Let them watch. I don't care." His voice was firm. He lifted her leg gently onto his thigh, removed her heels, and began massaging her swollen feet with careful hands. Gasps rippled through the hall. The greatest Mafia King, feared by the underworld, was kneeling at his pregnant wife's feet in front of everyone. One of 𝐻𝐿's aunts, his father's sister, couldn't keep silent. "𝐻𝐿, this is shameful. A man should never touch his wife's feet like this." 𝐦𝐁 immediately tried to pull her feet back, but 𝐻𝐿 tightened his hold, his grip protective and a little firm. His voice was like fire. "Why not? Why can't a man touch his wife's feet when she endures so much pain for us? When she risks her life to carry our child, our legacy? Everyone remembers their ego, but no one remembers she's a human too. My mother raised me differently. She taught me that 𝐦𝐁's care is my responsibility. I don't care what anyone here thinks. She is my wife, my queen. She carries my future inside her. And if massaging her feet makes her feel even a little better, then I'll do it again and again." He stood up after slipping her heels aside and lifted her carefully in his arms, walking her out of the shocked hall. In the garden, he set her gently on a chair outside, under the cool night air. Stay here, baby. I'll get you something to eat. But as soon as he left, someone approached 𝐩𝐫𝐞𝐡, his ex-girlfriend, and his aunt's daughter. Her smile was sharp, her eyes filled with venom. So, you must be happy, right? That 𝐩𝐿 stood up for you tonight. But don't forget I was his first love. He'll never forget me. And don't forget either. He was forced to marry you. 𝐲𝐿 straightened, her voice steady but fierce. Yes, our marriage was forced. But now we love each other. 𝐩𝐿 confessed to himself. And the proof is right here inside me. His child, our child. That should be enough proof for you. 𝐸𝐿's face twisted with rage. We'll see. Maybe I'll end that baby. And then we'll see if 𝐩𝐿 still loves you. 𝐲𝐿 instinctively placed her hands over her belly, her face pale. 𝐸𝐿 lunged forward, but 𝐩𝐿 was faster. He shoved 𝐸𝐿 back with a violent force, his palm connecting with her face in a loud slap. She stumbled and crashed to the ground. His eyes burned with fury, veins pulsing on his neck. How dare you? How dare you even think of harming my wife and child? He slapped her again, his anger uncontrollable. 𝐩𝐿, stop, 𝐲𝐿 cried, struggling to stand. Please don't hurt her anymore. But as she shouted, her body tensed, a sharp pain shooting through her. She screamed, clutching her belly. 𝐩𝐿, my water broke. We need to go. Now. His rage disappeared instantly. In a blink, he scooped her into his arms and ran to the car, speeding through the city like a storm. In hospital, 2 hours later, 𝐲𝐿 was in labor. 𝐩𝐿 paced outside, his face pale for the first time in years, his hands trembling. Mr. and Mrs. Chum stood with him, equally anxious. Finally, a nurse rushed out. Mr. Chun, your wife needs you inside. 𝐩𝐿 burst into the delivery room, grabbing 𝐲𝐿's hand tightly. I'm here, baby. I'm right here. You're strong. Just one more push, okay? The doctor's voice rang out. Mrs. Chun, one last push. 𝐲𝐿 cried out, squeezing 𝐩𝐿's hand. And then, the hall filled with the sound of a newborn's cry. 𝐲𝐿 collapsed back, exhausted, tears streaming down her cheeks. 𝐩𝐿 bent forward, kissing her forehead with trembling lips. Outside, Mr. and Mrs. Chun heard the baby's cry, and their eyes filled with tears of joy. Later, 𝐲𝐿 was moved to a private room, her parents and 𝐩𝐿's parents all waiting around her, hearts heavy with love and relief. Everyone waited for her to wake, to see her smile again with her newborn in her arms. The hospital room was quiet, filled only with the soft cooing of a newborn. 𝐲𝐿 still lay unconscious on the bed, her face pale but peaceful. 𝐩𝐿 sat beside her, holding her hand tightly as if his grip alone could keep her tethered to him. His head rested near their joined hands, his eyes red from sleepless worry. Across the room, Mr. and Mrs. Chun, along with 𝐲𝐿's parents, were gathered around the tiny baby boy. They laughed softly, showering him with kisses, their hearts already stolen by the newest member of the family. But 𝐩𝐿, he hadn't looked at his son yet. His whole world was right here, lying in front of him, her hand in his. Suddenly, 𝐲𝐿's finger twitched. 𝐩𝐿's head shot up instantly, his eyes wide. Baby, are you okay? He asked, his voice trembling. 𝐲𝐿 blinked slowly, then nodded faintly. Where's my baby, 𝐩𝐿? 𝐩𝐿 lifted his chin toward the other side of the room, where everyone was gathered. Over there. He's already stealing all their love. Double quotes. Her weak smile wavered. Did you see him yet? 𝐩𝐿 shook his head, his gaze locked on her face. Double quotes, no. How could I? My whole world is lying right here. How could I look at him before looking at you? Before 𝐲𝐿 could reply, a sudden wail came from across the room. The baby had started crying loudly. Mrs. Chen laughed softly, lifting him. Double quotes. Ah, smart boy. He must have sensed that his mother woke up. He wants to be with her. She brought the baby to 𝐲𝐿's side, carefully placing him in her arms. Tears filled Weenie's eyes instantly as she gazed at her son for the first time. The room filled with soft congratulations from both families, before they quietly stepped out, giving the new parents their moment. Moments later, the doctor entered, smiling warmly. Double quotes, Mrs. Chen. The baby needs to be fed now. I'll show you the method. Double quotes. She explained everything briefly, and then left the room, closing the door behind him. Jungkook immediately walked over, locking the door. He turned back, his gaze soft but mischievous, and came to sit beside 𝐲𝐿. She blushed, her arms tightening around the baby. Why are you shy, baby? Jungkook teased gently. I've already seen you, and this little packet is proof of it. He leaned closer, brushing his nose against hers. 𝐲𝐿 groaned. Shut up, kook. But Jungkook only smirked. Carefully, he reached for the baby, holding him for a moment before placing him back onto 𝐲𝐿's lap. With delicate hands, he helped unbutton her shirt, setting the baby so he could feed easily. As 𝐲𝐿 guided her son to her breast, he latched on quickly, suckling with soft determination. A strange sensation rushed through her, sharp yet overwhelming. She winced, biting her lip. Jungkook, it hurts, I feel pain. He leaned close, brushing his lips against her temple. It's your first time, baby. That's why it feels like this. It'll get easier. Then, with a sly glint in his eyes, he whispered, But you never complained when I sucked there. 𝐲𝐿's cheeks burned red. Shut up, Jungkook, get out. He only laughed softly, kissing her forehead tenderly. Thank you for this precious gift. I'm so happy. But I'd be even happier if next time we have a baby girl. Her eyes shot up at him. Don't you dare think about another baby before 5 years. Jungkook chuckled, then suddenly grew serious. His voice broke a little as he spoke. Double quotes, no, baby. It's enough. I won't let you go through this pain again, not for a long time. Watching you in the delivery room, it tore me apart. If I were in your place, I would have died. But you're so strong. My brave girl, thank you. I can't even put it into words, you are my whole world. 𝐲𝐿's eyes shimmered with tears, but before she could answer, Jungkook bent and kissed her lips softly. The baby, as if protesting being ignored, let out a sharp cry. Jungkook pulled back with a smirk. See? He's already taking revenge on me. 𝐲𝐿 couldn't hold back her laughter at his words, her heart swelling with love for her son, for her husband, for this fragile, perfect moment. And just like that, their new beginning had begun. The end.